Hello guys, this is Saren and welcome to the Noob Iron, as I refer to it because it is my Noob Iron. So starting off this week, of course, we're going for Plague's End. We got ourselves 75 crafting, and that is just the first of many levels during this episode. In fact, I'm not even sure if I'm done this episode yet at the time of recording the audio. I'm in the middle of another part of potentially this episode or next episode, and I'm trying to figure that out based on the length of this episode. So I went to Water Fiends to camp for charms and get my range level up. It's definitely the best area for me to get charms at my level range, plus I needed the range levels anyways. I was looking into cow fights for a little bit, but decided against it. Cow fights can actually be better summoning experience per hour, but you do require to have some form of way of easily killing a pack of them, like taking on quite a few of them. And this is the exiled cow fights, by the way, guys, not just, your run-of-the-mill cow fights. I know I saw Stubby Kane on Twitch doing them with full Guthans and like level 80-ish melee stats, and he was getting more summoning experience per hour than I was, that's for sure. However, from the reliability of going and getting that stuff is sort of out there for me. So that's what we went with, is just ranging them. I took a little bit of a break to go and get my summoning up just a little bit higher so that I could get some, just get that out of the way, take a break from range, get some free range experience from the Curse of Arav. Follow that up with getting the Temple of Sentence, Temple at Sentence, the word, the place. I need to read it. I can never, like, Sentenstein. That's not how you say it, but close enough, If I was reading it, I could probably say it, but I suck at saying stuff. So we put our lamps into summoning, of course. That got us enough for 65 summoning, which was important for the rewards of another quest that we did right after this. And then, of course, into Herblore. I wanted to just look at it in summoning. I was like, nah, that's pointless. Of course, put the Herblore XP books and whatever else lamps into Herblore as much as possible. And that is us activating curses. It's nice to have the on the account, but I won't be using them until I'm at least 92. I doubt I'd use anything before that. But after that, I went and did the World Wakes, of course. 65 summoning to use up those 50k combat lamps. And on top of that, I threw one of the 100ks into Herblore. I also contemplated using another one in agility, but I'm just not 100% sure about that yet. I'll get 80 agility from getting Plague's End done, so there's no reason to jump ahead and try and get that higher off of that lamp. So I'm just going to hold on to it for a little while. I can go and claim it right now and use one on summoning. I think that would be a reasonable thing to do, but for now, I'm just leaving it alone. We'll come back to those lamps in the future. Another great thing, though, because of how the goals are lined up, was this little reward book. So I was doing my Jack of Trades and after those quests and realized, hey, I can get 80 Herblore today. And what that means for us, guys, is we can boost up to super anti-fires. I know, I think I said this in the past episode. If not, I'll just either reiterate it or I'll just make it known. I don't like boosting for stuff that you can easily obtain. Herblore levels are not something you can easily obtain. So if I can go and grind something, say a smithing level, I want to go and grind a smithing level. Herblore you can't grind. It's a daily, it's a rewards, and then after a long time, maybe it's a grind of stuff to I'll put it all together for levels, but I wanted super anti-fires for a quest that you guys will see here in a second, and for what I'm currently doing right now that I'll talk about after these clips, and I'll get some footage to roll with it at that time. So I finished up 75 range and decided to go and get within the light out of the way. That way, all I have left are the levels for Plague's End. After that, we can just go straight and do the Plague's End quest and unlock Prif once we have those levels. So, after doing that, I made some super anti-fires. If you guys can see, my summoning level is up to 74, so we're almost done. And the great thing about getting some super anti-fires makes one-of-a-kind quest just a little bit easier. You can just AFK that celestial dragon. The iron dragons are a lot easier to kill and just a lot nicer to do. I only used one dose. I took a little bit of damage from the celestial dragon because it did just barely start running out, but in the end we just we gained a magic level off of that, and of course got just barely off of 75 summoning. And I'm realizing right now oh, there's the clip. I'm gonna edit this in post. After post making the audio. Of course I edit everything in post production, technically, if you want to call it production. But here you guys can see me finishing up my last inventory of ibis pouches to get 75 summoning. And with that, we only have 2 more skills to train for Prif. I'm actually going to probably not even change this clip at all. So we got 75 construction and 75 prayer. Construction is going to cost us about 4 mil. I have to still make the money for that. And you guys can see right now, hopefully, if I do this editing thing right, I am killing frost dragons. And one thing that you might note about how I'm killing them is not with a bone crusher. And technically I am using the Dragon Rider necklace, but I'm not utilizing the Dragon Rider necklace with the bone crusher to get that instant 360 XP prayer experience drops. Instead, I'm letting my legendary pet, which I actually got this past week just to make my money making at Spiritual Warriors a little bit nicer, but also it turns out they are very, very good for this. When you just set them to Bones and Ashes, they'll pick up those Frost Dragon bones for you so easily. Now, the reason I've decided to pick them up after doing some math and realizing on my first iron, I never picked up one Frost Dragon bone other than in Daemonheim for that one task. Aside from that, I'm pretty sure I used every single bone with a bone crusher. I killed about 18,000 frost dragons, and I never had a problem. I'm coming in now, and I'm having a problem. The reason I'm having that problem, though, is because when I did it back in the day, I started at level 78 attack and strength, which makes a big difference. I came in, I had a Kree'arra main hand sword and the Jessica's offhand sword, so those are tier 75 stab weapons, dual wield, which makes it great against singular targets. And I was having 0 issues because of that. I also had some Bandos items, and I eventually upgraded to having, of course, an enhanced Excalibur in there, and extreme attack and strength potions. But those things are all bonus. The real thing is the weapon. And right now, my accuracy is too low to make, and my damage is too low to effectively go through my trips. So because of this, I have decided to pick up the bones and just do it that way. The difference is about 700 bones difference between burying and picking up to get to level 75 prayer. And reason I came to this decision ultimately is because the number of times I had to bank was basically the same between burying and picking up. If I could kill more frost dragons, then I could carry stuff in my inventory. Plus, I now have a war tortoise. That I didn't start with that, of course. They start with a bunyip. I would then be burying the bones. But at the end of a trip, I can carry all the bones that I killed with. And with a legendary pet, you really don't lose much time unless you have the blue orb reflection from the frost dragons reflecting back at you, and you have to switch off and kill a different frost dragon, and then you end up killing them at close to the same time, so your legendary pet doesn't pick up both the bones. You're only losing a bit of time there, and at the end of the day, I'm really just losing time because of my weapon. So I'm going to be doing this method until 75. I am going to reevaluate after Prif what I'm going to do for 80. There's potential I'm going to just do agility to 80. I do need to gain those attack levels though for River of Blood and Void Stares Back. Both of those are tier 75 to 78 weapons. Obviously the Sun Spear is tier 78, but the Kree'arra Manhand is tier 75 in accuracy and damage. So that's just giving you guys an explanation, because I actually didn't expect this. I never did it with dragon daggers in the past. I thought burying it would still be the best thing to do, but I'm pretty sure I stand corrected. Maybe you guys don't think my loadout's very good. I am potting up, but I only bring one set of pots each time because I just don't want to be wasting them. I'm also going through a lot of food, so I'm going to try moving down. I did fish a lot of beltfish and catfish, and I forget what the other ones are called, from Menifos. For all this combat training I've been doing between range and now prayer, and we're just gonna see how much it lasts me if I downgrade to the catfish in place of the beltfish when I run out. Hopefully everything goes well, and I think this is the end of the episode. I left you guys on a big clip here at the end, so sorry about that. But next episode we will be in Prif. It was quite a good time getting here. I was requested to show my adventures log, A-log time when I get there, so I'm gonna do that for you guys. I'm gonna let you guys know now though, it is inflated a bit. The reason for this is stuff like the beach. Sorry, not the beach. It would be the beach if it came out at that time. The fair really inflated my time, so just to give you guys an idea about that. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Lots of progress for me on the account this week. I started off a little slow in the week, but I picked it up pretty well coming into the end. And I should be in Prif in the next few days. Episode will be probably up early next week just to show you guys that progress. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.